We are going to do the next route, that is, if the number of students is given, right, they will give you the number and you have to find the relevant mark, cutoff mark. So they will give you the number of students in two ways, as a percentage, right? Then you know how to get it into 4 decimals, or as a ratio, 33 divided by 2400 as an example. So you have to divide 33 by 2400 and get into decimal places, 4 decimal places, right? So they will give you the number either in as a percentage or a total number, right? A ratio. Then get the probability in 4 decimals. Once you know the probability, this is the probability we get. From the table, you will have to find the Z value. And then you can apply this Z value into this formula. You are familiar with this formula, remember, with Hull scale, McCall scale, right? So this Z you will have to apply here, and you know the SD. They already give this, no, and the X bar also, right? Then you can get the cutoff mark. Right, we'll do one problem here. In this example, X bar is 56, SD is 7, and total number of students is 2000. Right? First question, out of the total, what's the total? 2000. Out of the total, 120 students got A passes. What is the cutoff mark for an A? So as usual, underline what is given there. Here what is given? Out of the total, 120 students. Number of students is given, right? And they are asking for the cutoff mark for an A. Now we'll follow this route. Now how the number of students is given? As a ratio, right? 120 students out of the total. So we have to get the probability. 120 out of 2000. Okay, so we'll do like that. It's 6, it's 100. 6 divided by 100. So what is the probability? 0.0600. We have to get into 4 decimals now. You know how to do this. So it is easy in here. But if you have this one, you will have to divide 33 by 2400. You know how to do this. You put 0 here. There's no 3000, there's 1. Likewise, you will have to divide and get the probability in 4 decimals, right? Okay. So our probability is 0.0600. Now we'll draw the curve. It's easy when you draw the curve. Here it's 0. Now our X bar is 56. Right? Now, what's the question? Out of the total, 120 got A passes. A passes are here. Right? This is the shaded area we need. And 120 students. 120 out of 2000 are here. Right, so the probability is 0.0600. Now we know the probability. Then we have to use the table and find the Z score for the relevant area. Now this one is 0.6, this whole side. You know that and Z is given from the middle line to a particular Z value, right? So we have to find that particular Z value, this area. We have to find the probability of this area. So we know this side is 0.6, this one, and here we have to find this probability is, you have to deduct 0.0600 from 0.5. So the answer is that is this, right? 0.4400. Now go to the table and find the probability for that one. So we'll write the lines, probability of Z. Now first we'll write this one, right? Probability of Z. That is 0.5 minus 0.4400. The answer is, 0.0600. Answer is 0.4400. That's the probability for the Z value. Now, the Z of this probability, 0.4400. What is the Z value? From the table you can get it as 1.28. So that is here 1.28. That's the Z value. We have to find our X, right? Now we'll go to this formula. We have to find X, right? So cutoff mark. X equals, how can we get the value? By using this formula. X equals Z into SD plus X bar. Right. Write this formula. So we'll apply the values now. This is our Z. 1.28 into SD is 7 plus 56. That is 8.96. You do all the calculation. Plus 56. The answer is 64.96. 64.96. That is the cutoff mark for an A here. 64.96, approximately 65. So those who scored above 65 got A passes, right? So first we'll have to find the probability, and by using the table find the relevant probability and get the Z value. Then apply that Z value into this formula. You have to by heart this formula, remember it, right? It's useful for the first paper as well as for the second paper. Okay. Second question. The lowest 2.5% failed the exam. What is the pass mark? So what is given? The lowest 2.5%. Underline. Lowest. Failed the exam. Right. Now we'll draw the curve here. 0, it's 56. X bar. And the lowest 2.5. Where are the failures? Here. On the left side. So shade it. And what's the probability of that one? Percentage. Now here they have given it as a percentage. right? 2.5%. So 2.5% means what? As a percentage, you know, we have already done this. So 0 to 5, 0. So the probability is 0.0250, this area. Now we have to find the probability of this one. Why? We need to find the relevant Z value. Z, and also then we have to find the X cutoff mark. Right? So we know this side. Then what do we have to do? We have to deduct this part, this probability from 0.5. We'll write the lines. Probability of Z. We know this now. Probability of Z. How can we get the probability of Z here? 0.5 minus 0.0250. That's the probability of Z, and the answer is 4750. 0.4750. That is this probability, right? 0.4750. Now get the probability of the Z value from the table. Right. We'll write the line Z relevant to 0.4750. What's the Z value we get from the table? It's 1.96. Now the most important thing, from the table it's given as 1.96. Now is that the correct Z value? No. Why? Here according to this chart, this curve, that 0 should be a minus value, right? That's the important thing. That's why we draw all these curves. So it is minus 1.96. Right. Put minus here. You have to remember this. It's a common mistake that many students do. That's why that's why I ask you to put all the values here, whatever you find. Then you know this is minus 1.96. Now we have to, what do you have to do now? We have to find the relevant X. Here we, from the table and all, we got the Z value. Now we have to find our X, the mark. When we know the Z, to get the relevant mark, we have to use that formula. So, pass mark, cutoff mark, pass mark. Pass mark X equals, write that formula, Z into SD plus X bar. So our Z is minus 1.96 into 7 plus 56. So here the value minus 13.72. Be very careful when you do all these, right? Manually you have to do, and you have to get the correct answer as well. So you know, it's minus of 56 minus 13.72, that is 42.28. 42.28. That is the pass mark. So write it here, 42.28. So that's the cutoff mark. Those who got below this mark, they were considered as failures. Right? So what you have to remember here, once you have calculated this Z value, always take it to the chart, curve. Right? Then you know whether it is minus or plus. Otherwise, you can't remember here whether it is minus or plus. Take this value to the curve. Then you know whether it is below the average or above the average. Right. Next one, question number 3. The 190 students, underline 190 students in the right middle received credits. What are the limits of a credit pass? Right? So number is given, but what's the condition? The 190 students in the right middle. Now where's that right middle? Now if we draw a curve, this is left, this is right, and right middle is here. Is that the one? Is that the idea? No. Right? That's not that. Here it's just English. Sometimes we say, go and stand right there. Right there means hariyata metara inda. Right? So right middle means exactly in the middle. Right middle here. That's English. That's why I took this, because you can see these words in some papers. So if we draw the curve according to this, what it says, the 190 students in the right middle received credits. 190 students in the right middle. So 190, they are in the middle, exactly, right? So what you have to do? You have to divide this 190 by 2. Why do you divide this one? They are in the middle, right middle. Hari මැද්දෙම ඉන්නවා. මෙතන මේ හැරින් ගත්තොත් 190. Is it right middle? Hari මැද්දමද? No, that's not right middle, right? So right middle means exactly in the middle. So half will be from this, half will be on the left side, half will be on the right side. So when we divide this one, it's 9, 18, 10, it's 5. So 95 will be here on this side, and 95 students will be on this side. So we'll write 95 students. 95 out of what? We have to get this one, 95 out of 2000. And 95 out of 2000 on the right side also. So this is the area we need in the right middle. So the probabilities are these. They are ratios, right? Bhag Sankhya. And we'll have to find the probability. So you have to divide 95 by 2000. You divide it, and their probability is 0.0474. Here 0.0474. You know how to do this, no? 95, then it is, yeah, divide this by 5, 190 divided by 1000. Okay. Okay, this is it is 19. Here it should be 400, and 19 divided by 400. Do this and you get the answer as this. Right. So this side it's 0.0474. This side is also it's the same, 0.474. Right, we'll write that line. Here we name as this side Z1, Z2. Since there's no difference here, we don't have to deduct anything, just Z1, Z2. If not, you can write this side Z1, Z1. Right, probability of Z1. What's the probability of Z1? This is probability. It's 0.0474. We'll take 1, right? We'll take Z1 and then we'll find X1. They ask what are the limits of a credit? These are credit holders and we have to find the limits of a credit pass, right? Z1 is this. Then what's the next step? We know this probability. Then what you have to do? Find the probability. Find the Z value relevant to that probability. Z of 0.471. Z is, in the table, it says 0.12. Now, what we have to do? Take it here. Now, we are finding Z1. So, it is 0.12. Then 0.12. So, what is the mark? Sign? It's a minus sign. So, put minus here. Then, now we have to find, now we know the Z value, we can find X1. Right? X1 means we'll say the lower value XL, and here we mark it as XH, higher value, higher limit or upper limit. Right, X1 or X2, it doesn't matter. Now we'll find the lower limit. So XL or lower limit. So what is that? Same formula, right? X Z into SD plus X bar. So that is minus 0.12 into 7 plus 56. So here it is minus 0.84 minus 0.84 plus 56. The answer is 55.16. 55.16. That's the lower limit, or this one. 55.16. Okay. Now what we have to do? Now we have found this limit. Then we have to find this limit. The same principle. So what is the probability of Z2? Right. Probability of Z2. I'll erase this, right? Now we know how to get that one. We'll write probability of Z2. Once again, it's 0.074. Then you have to find the relevant Z value. Z2 Z2 of 0.074. You don't have to write all, just write Z of this one. What is the Z value of this one? Now it is same probability, 0.12. Now it is plus. So you put 0.12. That's why you know it's a plus value on this side. So put plus, not necessary plus. Then you have to find the upper limit, right? X or higher value of upper limit XH equals Z into SD plus X bar. So Z is 0.127 plus 56. So here once again 0.84 plus 56. The answer is 56.84. That's the upper limit of the credit cards. This one, 56.84. Now I erased in this, but you can put the equation mark and write, oh, you can write underneath. So these are the two limits, 50 credit, right? The two limits of a credit cards are 55.16 and 56.84. Those who scored between those two limits got credit passes. Right. Next one, the question number 4. We'll do all the possible questions. The 3% next to the highest 6% received B passes. Find the limits of a B. Right? Now they have given the number of students as a percentage like this and asking for the limits, cutoff marks. Right? Now we'll draw the curve. That's why we practice drawing all the curves. 0, it's 56. Now we'll go to the question. The 3%, not only 3%, next to the highest 6%. So where's highest 6%? Here. Highest. Right? This is the highest 6%. Do we have to shade this area now? No, that's not what we need. What's the thing we need? The 3% next to the highest 6% received B passes. So we need the 3%. This is the 3%. Right? This area, this is the 3% who received B passes. The 3% next to the highest 6% received B passes. Now we have to find the limits, right? So we have to find the Z values. We put Z1 here because we have to deduct now. So Z2, and we have to find X1 and also X2. We have to find the limits. They have given these, right? Now we'll write the. Now what do you have to do? We have to find the Z1 first, right? Z1, because here from the probabilities we have to find Z1 and then we have to find Z2. Then we can find the probabilities and get the probability of this shaded area. So first we'll find Z1, this one, right? So here what's the probability? 6% means 0.0600. That is this area, right? This one 0.030. That is this. Right. Now we'll have to find Z. We'll write that one. Yeah, first we'll write the probability. Probability of Z1. We know only this side, 6, right? 0.06. We have to find the probability. So what you have to do? You have to deduct that one from 0.5. So the answer here is 0.4400. That is this probability. Now we can find, now we know the probability of this side, then we can find Z1. So go to the table and find Z1. So we have to find the Z of 0.4400. That from the table we can get it as 1.55. So we go to this one, we need Z1, so it is 1.55. Put it there. Now we have found the Z. What's the next one? We have to find the cutoff mark. X. Yeah? Z. We know that we have to find X. So we write X1. That is the upper limit. Right? X1 equals Z into SD plus X bar. SD, our Z is 1.55. SD is 7, X bar 56. Here it is 10.85 plus 56, that is 66.85. 66.85. That is this upper limit. 66.85. Okay, so we have found this limit. Now we have to find x2, right? X2. Similarly, we'll do this, calculate this one. I'll erase this. Okay. All these things I have done these things, and you can get photos of them. Now we have to find this probability. Okay, this probability. Why do we have to find that probability? To find Z2, right? So how can we get it? From this middle line to a particular Z value, we can get the probability. Then here we have to deduct this whole area from 0.5. Then we can know the probability of this area. So what is the probability of this whole thing? What do you have to do? We have to add these two probabilities. Then we can get the probability of this whole area, and we can deduct that from 0.5. So we'll write probability of Z2. Probability of Z2. How can we get that one? We have to deduct this whole thing from 0.5. We have to deduct. What's this whole thing? You have to add these two probabilities. So 0.0300 plus 0.0600. And that's why square brackets. These are called square brackets. And now 0.5 minus, when we add these two, we can get 0.0900. The answer is 0.41. That's the probability of this area. 0.4100. So you have to go to the table, the probability, and from the table you can find Z. So Z of 0.4100. Go to the table and you can find it as 1.34. Right? So we know the Z value 1.34. So it is plus on this side. So we know the Z value. Now we have to apply and get the relevant mark. What is that? X2. So write X2 equals, write the formula. If you don't know anything, at least just write the formula. 1.34 plus 50. So here it is 9.38. 9.38. Once again, I'm telling you to do these manually and get the correct answer. Right? Don't make any mistakes. The answer is 65.38. ඔය steps වලට ලකුණු හම්බ වෙනවා කියා ඉන්න එපා. Right? Don't expect marks for the steps and everything. If they If you don't have correct answers, they'll deduct. They will just give you half or something like step. Right? It is 65.38. You can write it here. 65.3. Oh, all right, that's the limit. So what are the limits of B pass? 65.38 and 66.85. Right, now this is the last problem I am going to do under this topic if the number of students is given. Question number 5. The 1.2% next to the lowest 8%. The 1.2% next to the lowest 8% attended a special program. What are the limits of that program? Right, marks. So draw the curve. Then mark these things. 1.2% next to the lowest 8%. So where's lowest 8? Here. Right? This is the lowest 8. Do we have to shade this area now? No. Why? That's not what we need. What do we need? The 1% next to the lowest 8%. Not 1%, it is 1.2%. So 1.2%. That's what we need. This is the area we need, 1.2%. Attended a special program. Now we have to find the cutoff marks. So here we mark it as Z1. This one is Z2, X1, X2. Okay. Now first we'll find Z1. So how can we find Z1? We need a probability from the middle line. So this one. We have to find the probability of this. Right? We know this one. What is that? 0.8% means 0.0800. Right? So we'll write probability of Z1. We have to get the probability of Z1. This one. So 0.5 minus 0.0800. The answer is 0.420. That is this. Now find the Z value. Z1 of 0.420. So from the table, you can get it as 1.41. Put it here, 1.41. Right. Is that all? No. This one should be minus. So put minus here. That's the Z value. Now we have calculated the Z value. Now we have to get the X. Here Z is the X1. So X1 equals, what's the formula? Z into SD plus X bar. Z is minus 1.41, 7 plus 56. The answer is minus 9.87. 9.87 plus 56. That is 46.13. That is this X1. 46.13. Now we have to find the Z2 and the X2. This one. Right? I'll erase this. Z2. to find the Z2, we have to know the probability of this area. Right? This area only is Z2. Then we have to deduct this whole area from 0.5 to get this area, just like the previous example. So we have to deduct this whole area, right, from 0.5. So probability of Z2 equals, we have to deduct this whole area from 0.5. Now what is that whole area? We have to add these two. What is the probability of 1.2? 0.0120, right? So 0.0120 plus 0.08. Here 0.5 minus, we have to add these. The answer is 0.0920. Answer 0.4080. What is that? This one, 4080. Then by going to the table, you can find the Z. This is Z2, right? So we can write Z2. We have to find Z2. Now we know this probability. This is this. According to that, according to the table, it is minus 1.33. Actually, according to the table, it's 1.33. Put it here. You know it is minus, so put minus. Then we have to find x2 from the table x2. Right. So we write x2 equals z into sd plus x bar. It is minus 1.33 into 7 plus 56. So it is minus 9.31 plus 56. The answer is 46.69. So here x2 is 46.29. So the answer for this one, the limits of the special program, those who scored marks between 46.13 and 46.29. Right, those are the limits. All right. Now there are some other examples also. I think you have got the idea now about these two rules. Then you take down these problems. I will send the photos of these. Then you can write them neatly in your books. Understand these now, so you can write them. Then I will send you a set of questions. You have to answer them and submit your. Okay, that's the end of this. Now we have to take some past papers and do a mixture of these two.